Hello, let's begin the chapter Sources of History. Till now, we have studied the history of ancient, medieval, and modern India. This year, we have to study the history of India in the post independence era. Sources of modern history are different from those of ancient and medieval history. We can study history with the help of various sources like written sources, material sources, oral sources, and sources in the audiovisual medium. In the modern period, we have to take note of various sources at the regional, state, national, as well as international level. We can write history with the help of these sources. First one, written sources. The following sources are included in the written sources. Just as newspapers are considered to be the fourth pillar of democracy in the modern period, they are also the major medium of information. If you consider the period from 1961 to 2000, we can see that in the beginning there was no alternative to print media, especially newspaper. With the liberalization and widespread use of internet in India, an alternative from print media became available. Yet the print media still continued to be the powerful newspaper. Through newspaper, we get information about national and international affairs, politics, art, sports, literature, social and cultural affairs. Newspaper contains matter related to the human life. Most national news have started their regional editions. They publish news supplements that give information about various topics. Newspapers, newsletters of various movements, the dailies or weeklies of political parties, monthly or annual magazines are important among the print media. Some newspapers produce special supplements towards the end of the year to make an overview of the important events of the year. Such supplements help us understand the importance of events of the year. Press Trust of India (PTI). After 1953, the Press Trust of India has been an important source of primary details to all events and articles on important subjects. Press Trust of India has provided reports, photographs, and articles on financial and scientific issues to newspapers. PTI has now started its online service. During the 1990s, PTI started using the satellite broadcast technology instead of teleprinters to send news all over the country. This material is important for writing the history of modern India. We have an information box here. Do you know the place where historical documents were preserved is called as the archives. The main office in the National Archives of India is now in New Delhi. This is the largest among the archives in Asia. You do have an activity here. Sorry, it's not an activity, it's a diagram. Let's turn to the next page. You again have an information box here. Do you know, among the print media, the information contained in the annual issues of the publication divisions of the Government of India is authentic and trustworthy. For example, the Information and Broadcasting Department published India 2000, an annual reference book. This reference book is created by Research, Reference and Training Department. It contains useful information about the land, its people, national emblems, political systems, defense, education, cultural events, and an event of developments in the fields of science and technology, environment, health and family welfare, social welfare, media of mass communication, along with basic data related to economics, finance, planning, agriculture, water conservation, rural development, food and civil supplies, energy, industries, trade and commerce, transport, communication, labor, housing, laws and statutes, youth and sports departments, etc. It is possible for us to write history with the help of such information. Postage stamps. The postage stamps don't reveal anything of their own, yet the historian makes them speak. There have been several changes in postage stamps since India became independent. Postage stamps reveal a lot of us about changing times due to the variety of sizes in stamps, the novelty in their subjects and color schemes. The postal department issues postage stamps on a wide variety of themes like political leaders, flowers, animals, birds, an event, or the silver, golden, diamond jubilees, or the centenary, bicentenary, on different events. It is therefore a valuable repository of history. We have an information box over here. Do you know the Indian government issued Gal Cooper stamp in 1977? Gal Cooper was an international acclaimed philanthropist, that is, an expert in the subject of postage stamps. Born in the Percy household in Mumbai, Cooper edited India's Stamp Journal. He was the founder of First Philosophical Bureau in India, an office that collected stamps. He founded the Empire of India's Philatelistcal Society. He went on to write many books on the subject to give a specific bent on this hobby. He played as a pivotal role in taking the study of Indian postage stamps to the international level. Having started his career as a postage stamp collector, Cooper achieved the expertise of an philanthropist at the international level. The postage stamp of Gal Cooper is an important source to understand his significant contribution to this world. Next, material sources. The following sources are included among the material sources. Okay, here is a diagram showing the sources are coins, places of worship, things in daily use, royal seals, modern architecture, clothing, museums, and ornaments. In that first one, coins. We can also understand the history with the help of coins and changes in the printing of currency notes. Reserve Bank of India prints the notes. It has its headquarters in Mumbai. The coins from 1950 to those used at present, the metal used for making them, their different shapes, the diversity of subjects on them together help us to understand the important contemporary issues in India. For example, coins to convey the message of population control and coins communicating the importance of agriculture and of farmers. Museums. All states of India have museums that depict the characteristics and display the culture and social heritage of their state. They enable us to understand history, that is, the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Museum at Mumbai, Reserve Bank Museum in Pune city. Apart from the government museums, some private collectors also set up their own museums. They are based on the distinctive subjects like coins, notes, lamps, nutcrackers in different shapes, cricket equipment, etc. Oral sources. These sources include folk tales, folk songs, proverbs, ballads, and odes, Marathi verse in an oral tradition. Activities were inspired. Activists were inspired by the povadas of Lok Sahir Annadosit and Sahir Amar Sheikh during the Sanyukta Maharashtra movement. Okay, you guys have an activity here as an example of how some event gets reflected in the literature and how the poet possesses that event and study the poem Avahan, written on a backdrop of an Indonesian war by the noted Marathi poet Kusumagraj. Find pieces of literature based on the contemporary events. Audiovisual sources. Television, films, internet are used as audiovisual media. Many domestic and foreign television channels also under the head example History Channel, Discovery Channel, etc. Film and Television Institute of India. The Government of India started the Film and Television Institute of India at Pune in 1960 with the purpose of providing public education. An institute called as Indian News Review has produced various newsreels on important events in politics, social issues, arts, sports, and culture. This department has also produced various documentaries on prominent social leaders, on people who have made major contributions for the country, and about important locations in India. These news releases and documentaries are useful for studying the history of modern India. We have an activity here. Which film about patriotism do you know of? In your own words, write a review on one such film that you liked. Continuation. Till now, we have seen some important sources of writing the history of modern India. The times in the 21st century are changing so rapidly that even these sources will prove to be inadequate. However, new sources are coming forth. For example, during the transformation from landline telephones to cell phones, A gadget called pager came up for contacting people, but it died out as quickly as it came up. The huge amount of information available on the internet is used for studying history, but the truth and authenticity of this information needs to be verified. Now it has become comparatively easy to study history with all these sources, as these sources are from contemporary period and they are easily available. Since a subject like history touches all the aspects in our lives, efforts for preservation of such sources are made at all levels. We should also contribute to this effort. Right next, you have exercise. Do the exercise, all the answers in the exercise. You'll get it from the chapter above. And finally, you have a project at the end. I'll read that for you. First one, create a handwritten account of the documentary about your school. Second one, watch your different documentaries available on the official website of the Archaeology Survey of India, an organization under the Government of India. Third one, which sources would you use to write the history of your village or town? Write down the history of your village or town using those sources. I hope you guys understood the chapter, and thank you.